It seems that more and more women are breaking through the glass ceiling at work. According to a government-backed report, the proportion of female board members in the UK's top 100 companies has doubled in recent years. In 2011, just an eighth of board members in the UK's top firms were women. But inside just 4 years, that has risen to a quarter. What's more, there are no longer any all-male boards among those companies, but the report wants more to be done. By 2020, it wants a third of all board members to be women, although it's not insisting on imposing quotas. Lord Davis, who wrote the report, says a near revolution is taking place. So what's behind it, or is he wrong? With me now is entrepreneur Emma Sinclair. At 29, she became the youngest person in the UK to take a company public. What do you think about Lord Davis saying this is a near revolution? Is it?
Hi, Matt. I mean, I'd like to focus on the positives. I'm a natural optimist, and it is fantastic the numbers have doubled.
Yeah.
But the progress is a little bit glacial. And given that half of the workforce, half of graduates are female, why are we aiming for a third in 2020? Why aren't we aiming for 40% or 50%?
Yes.
I feel that some realistically accessible targets have been set there, and that's obviously just for non-executive positions.
You say glacial progress. I mean, compared to how glacial it was before, it's slightly less so, isn't it, now?
Yes, you know, it's great. It's slightly less glacial than it was before. And as I say, that's fantastic news. And again, just for non-executive positions. But if you think about executive positions, things actually haven't changed since 2011.
Why do you think that is?
You know, that's the million-dollar question. And if I had an answer, then I think I'd have really done my darndest to solve it. I would say this. There have been years of Equal Pay Act, networking, women's mentoring, leadership sessions. And if nothing's changed over a few short years, and I think there's only 5 CEOs that are female. You
say it's a million-dollar question. Maybe too many of those male CEOs want to sit on their million-dollar salaries and not give them up. Is that an aspect to this?
I'm not quite at that end of the scale, because there are lots of fantastic CEOs doing fantastic jobs, and I don't think that men have malicious motives. But in times of pressure, which inevitably is the position that most CEOs are in, you typically look to the people that you can most relate to as a sure thing that can help you deliver. And if you're a white male CEO, the chances are the sure thing or the person you've known for 35 years that you went to school with probably looks like you, and that's difficult to break.
If the changes are happening and not happening quickly enough at the top of a business, what about at the bottom? Is there enough equality at the bottom of a business for people to sort of move through it towards the top?
Right at the bottom, supposedly that's where it really is equal, but then as you get higher up the tree and the wind blows harder, so do people fall to the wayside. You know, and as I say, the executive side of things is where we have to look at. And the whole issues of quotas is just so interesting, and so it raises so many issues for so many women. I often ask people, how do you feel about this? And this morning, after the report came out, it's really interesting. 20s and 30s, people are dead against it. 40s, people are a bit ambivalent. 50s and 60s, totally pro. And I think that really says it all, which is 50s and 60s, you've had enough. You recognise what's happened over the last 30 years. It's time to change.
OK. Emma, thanks very much indeed.
Thanks, Matt.